Welcome back to another YouTube video of FlareFX, where we make trading simple. If you're new here, please subscribe, click the notification bell, like, comment, share, repost on your Instagram and give me feedback, right? So in this week, I'll be breaking down GER30 and US30. Last week, you guys went crazy on the gold trade and NASDAQ trade as well. So thank you so much for the support, guys. It's really appreciated. So today I'll just be breaking down the GER30. I'm adding GER30 into the watch list or into the whole trading breaking down this week because of the opportunities I've been seeing. So without further ado, just stay tuned so you can catch both of the entries of the GER30 and US30. And if you haven't subscribed and if you're new here, make sure to hit the notification and subscribe. Now, before I get started, so with the indices and the DAXs, I've been realizing a lot of them have been moving very bullish. Even the currencies have been moving a bit funny since we just passed NFP week. But everything is looking pretty good for the fourth quarter. I'm not gonna lie, money can be definitely made. Money can be definitely made if you know what you're doing. So today, the DAX pair or the DAX indice is something that I want to break down more. So a lot of people don't pay attention to GER30. It's more so the US30s, the S&P 100s, the synthetic indices. You know what I mean? So GER30 is opportunistic. So let me just break it down for you just now. So as you can clearly see, this is the DAX on the 1 hour time frame. I really just want to focus on what's currently happening with the current market price. That's why I'm just sticking on the 4 hour time frame. So we don't go in too far away, just focusing on what is happening right now. So as clearly as you can hear, we're currently in a downtrend. We're making higher highs and higher lows. As you can clearly see, there you go. And now we've reached a sensitive spot, right? And I think for the way things look, I'm going to just break down the way this pair really moves, and I've been noticing a few things. So we are moving down. This is a bearish trend. So let me just mark out the highs and the lows just to also clarify for the people that don't see what I see. So this is a high, that's a low, this is a high, this is a low, this is a high, right? And a lot of people might be asking, why am I highlighting these specific ones and not the other ones that you can clearly see? Mainly because for me, it's based on the impulses and corrections, and the swing highs are made after an impulse and correction. Impulse and correction, you get what I mean? So just label that as a break of structure. We take this over here and put it down over here, right? Clean cut finish. So now, as you can clearly see, for me, I would categorize this, all of this as a correction. Let me just show you. All of this is a correction, an impulse. This is a correction. This is an impulse, right? So we can clearly mark this out as a low. We can mark this out as a low, right? And now price, we're basically now playing in between this range over here, this range over here, and then this range over here, right? So now, before I even go into the lower time frames, I like to kind of understand what the market does or what the market has done to see why these specific reactions of why did it pull back over here until this point? Why did it retrace back? So it's like allowing the market to tell you a story, and you need to pay attention to the way it tells you, because it's very important, right? So now, as I can clearly see, I'm like, okay, cool, we are in a downtrend, so we're most definitely looking for sells, and we're playing within this range, right? But for this range to happen, something must have happened over here, right? So you can see that there's an order block that was created over here, right over here. Then we pull that all the way to the side like this, right? Clean cut finish. So you can already clearly see that, okay, the market has already came to this point mitigated, right? So now we'll move on to the lower time frames, but already I can already clearly see that this is an order block that I'm really looking for because of the way the market moved away, and it also broke multiple lows over here, right? But we'll go to the lower hour time frame. Let's go to the 2 hours just to understand a bit of depth, right? So okay, cool. So you can clearly see a high, a low was formed. There was a change of character that happened over here. Price continued to move up, made a low, went up, and then broke this low, right? So now this would classify this as an internal change of character. We'll come over here, label this as an internal change of character. There you go, clean cut finish. So, and the order block that was responsible for that move was this one over here that we see here, right? So now here is what is very interesting, very interesting. So this is a zone that we're looking into, right? Let's go to the 1 hour time frame to understand what's happening, you know. So as you can clearly see, with this order block over here, it reacted based off of this order block too. So we can move this to the side because we don't reacted off of that one, and then we come and highlight this one. clean cut finish, because we know it reacted off of that order block, right? And then price continues to move down, internal change of character happened, and then the broke of structure happened, and then price started doing whatever it done, right? So now, as you can clearly see, the movement here was very choppy, as much as it is like this was last week or this week, relatively early in the week. Price has been just playing around this area. So I'm very interested to see the order block that we highlighted, right? So I'll just fix it up, just refine it based on situation that I highlight this whole order block over here, right? So for me personally, right, looking at the way things are, the order block that I can see here is very, how can I label it? It's too big for me personally, right? So I'd come with this, the Gantt box, obviously, and highlight this order block so I can understand the 50%, the zone of the 50%. So yes, clean cut finish, right? So I'd probably execute based on the 50%. So let me just go to the 30-minute time frame to see what we might possibly see. But yeah, so basically this is a supply zone. This is where we could be looking into seeing some sort of reaction going lower. So price could definitely retrace just to go low. So we could possibly see something like the likes of price retracing into this point, retracing, mitigating an order block that would be here, right, and then continuing to move up, or we could see some strong a strong reaction, and I could even do it like this based on the highs and stuff. So this, we could classify this as liquidity as much as it is too. So I think with DAX, the main thing I'm very, very interested to see is how price reacts off of this zone. But based on the higher time frame, we know that we are in a downtrend. So sales are more than likely something that we'd want to like be in, like execute based off of those types of things, execute based on those types of like situations. So I think for me, for sure, using the gang box as a thing so you don't highlight the whole order block. So this is how I'd execute this thing, relatively above that high, and then I'll target all the way to this low. So with this pair or with this indice, I would swing it, you know what I mean? And as much as it is, I'm really comfortable. I don't mind. The order block is not that bad, for as much as it is for a swing trade. So I'll come in over here, put my sell limit here, right? Allow price to do its thing. It's probably gonna play around the whole week, and then spike into the zone, right? And then go all the way to this point over here for take profit. So the way I would also separate my take profits is based differently on the way the structure moves, but for sure DAX is looking very nice as the week progresses. So yeah, right, now we are breaking down US30. So with US30, I would really like to start on the daily time frame, mainly because of the way prices react of a specific zone that I've been seeing, right? So let me just break it down. So now with US30, it's a totally different situation. We can clearly see that we have reacted off of this zone. I know I have to mark out like the market structure before anything else, but it's very interesting to see why it reacted off of this zone, right? This zone is the one that was responsible for this internal change of character, this break of structure, and overall this whole move. So the whole move initially started from this order block, hence why there was a strong reaction. Even if it was very powerful coming into the order block, it just reversed as quickly as it possibly can, right? So we can initially say we're reacting off of this OP, this daily OP, but we'll go into the lower time frames to really understand what's happening, right? But for now, obviously, I'll just mark out the structure that is relatively close to us, so we can just understand what's happening, right? So this was a low 2. We don't mind this one because we're currently just focusing on what is happening over here, right? Let's tap into the 4-hour time frame. So now the 4-hour time frame looks really, really nice. We get a bit of understanding of what's happening. That candle you saw on the daily time frame is probably all the whole commotion that's happening over here. But I'll just break down what I clearly can see about everything, right? So now, obviously, there was a low created a high, then price failed to break this low, continued to go over here, failed to break this high as well. So really nothing happened. And then price came all the way down here, broke this structure. So I would classify this as a, what do you call it, a change of character over here. A change of character. This is a change of character followed by a break of structure, right? So I'll remove this one just for cleanliness because I kind of understand what's happening. So no, we understand that there was a change of character that initially happened over here, right? So this is an order block that you can clearly see for long-term traders, like for long-term swingers, for people who are interested in seeing the market overview. Because as much as it is, guys, when we look at the US30s and all the indices, they're basically economic instruments, and the fact that we are allowed to trade them when we have the privilege to trade these things is very beautiful. But these are economic indicators, right? So we need to understand when we see the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq buying, so we understand that the tech companies are gaining strength, and we know once they can gain strength, the US economy and the dollar economy will grow. So we can see a little bit of a bullishness in terms of the dollar, the US dollar. You get what I mean? So just make sure to look out for that. But for now, let's just go back into the charts, right? So this is a higher time frame target, a higher time frame order block that needs to be mitigated due to the fact that it did change channel. So we're anticipating that price could get to these points. But now let's focus on what happened over here, right? So initially this whole thingy, this whole triangle was derived from the daily time frame, right? So hence why we are in the daily POI, right? And the beautiful reaction, as you can clearly see, before we even draw out anything, just candles on its own tell a story. You need to look at the candles before you can understand, right? So immediately price came into this point and was very, very, very corrective. Initially it impulsively moved away. Here was an order block that it was supposed to kind of respect, but it kind of came into it very, very, very impulsively. So we understand that the buyers came in, the buyers stepped in, so we could classify this as a very high demand zone, right? Okay, cool, that's cut, that's finished. I can clearly see that there was a purge of liquidity that happened over here, right? Obviously everything will make sense as we go to the lower time frames, but for now I just want to get an understanding what's happening just by candles alone, not even breaks of structures, like seeing what the candles are doing, especially when they come to your POI, right? So as you can clearly see, price came in and then there's an internal change of character happening over in the lower time frames. I think we've exhausted the 4 hour time frame. Let's go to the 1 hour. So with the 1 hour time frame, as you can clearly see, price did play around this point, broke this low, well, took liquidity, hence why it moved impulsively up, right? And then we could classify this as a change of character or an internal change of character, so to say. We'll just classify it as a change of character because you are on the 1 hour time frame, so everything is relatively on the higher time frame for sure. So we can classify this as a change of character. So now what is mainly interested in me is this zone over here. Everything that's happening underneath this change of character is what I'm very interested in. This is where I'll be interested in taking my buys or my buy limits, right? So anything below this range over here, let's go to the 30 minutes to see if we can clearly see something. So for me, right, right now I can see there's a purge of liquidity. The bullish candle was formed, the bearish candle was formed, price bullishly came up, and then we had a print of this last bearish. So for me personally, I'd come over here, take this over here, take this over here, right? Because this is the candle that I'm very interested in. This is the last, what do you call this, bearish candle before the bullish move, right? So obviously I would classify this as an order block, and there was a purge of liquidity, you get what I mean? So automatically in my head it's like, okay, cool, we can see that we want to execute based on this point, right? So where are we targeting, right? This is where we go into the higher time frames to kind of make us understand where is the next best place to see, right? So for now, we just pay attention to what the current price market is doing. Let me just fix the charts up really cleanly. Okay, yeah. So clean cut finish, we can see that there was a mitigation on the higher time frame order block, and then there was a purge of liquidity, price continued to move up. So now we're trying to look for where we're going to take profit, right? So obviously the initial highs are what's very important, right? So my anticipation is that there is an order block that's chilling over here, right? So I'll highlight this zone here. So I'm anticipating that price could well around come into this zone, react off of it some sort of way, pull back in just to go a bit higher. But for now, I think targeting this OP, in case, let's say maybe the market does open, let's go to the 1 hour time frame. The market opens, right? Price fails to come to this order block. We leave it. Price will come back and retrace into this order block over here. And then we can look into buys all the way here. So our take profit would be the order block that we would react off, right? So I would come with my sell limit, my buy limit over here, place it over here, over there to the top. And then now we move this stop loss relatively just below, like that. This order block, we found it on the 30 minutes. So just need to make sure that we are clean cut finish. There you go. So the order block is there. We move this over here. And you can clearly see it's a clean 1:3. It's a clean 1:3. It's a bit high risk, low reward type of situation. But 1:3 is relatively decent, especially if maybe you get a snapper entry. You could probably even use the box as much as it is, because price could retake, because it's a big order block as much as it is. So you can come over here. And one thing I've noticed with indices is like the order blocks are really big compared to currencies. The one that, because I usually trade currencies, I think I specialize in currencies. So indices are a totally different market for me. But one thing I've seen, one thing I've backtested is that like they usually come in 50% of the order block and react off of that zone. So executing based on that, just for that what is this, the beta RR, you know, so you can get a clean 1:5 for this one. Look at this. So now put your stop loss here for 1:7, right? So price comes in 50% of the zone, executes, flies all the way to take profit, and then you eat, right? So as I said, if price doesn't come into this point by the market open, then it's okay. It's probably going to play around this point coming into the entry, right over here, right, and then respecting it and then popping all the way up to the top where we can take profit, right, and then looking into targeting these highs. And obviously if the market does show bearish movement and bullish movement, my bad, then we could anticipate on going for the higher time frame target, this point right over here, right? So yeah, I anticipate that the move, the US dollar, so anything, the base currencies with the US dollar in the beginning, those are the currencies I feel like they will be a lot more bullish this week, well, then the upcoming week, the second week of October. So yeah guys, I think for now, just make sure there's happy trading for this month. The fourth quarter is not that much. It's very low volatility, especially coming to the month, the December holidays and stuff, the festive season, because a lot of investors are pulling out of the things that they trade. A lot of people are taking their money. A lot of people are going on vacation. So the market could be very slow, especially during December. So make sure that you capitalize on these last remaining few months. If you haven't been following your trading plan, follow your trading plan. If you've been slacking, please just tap into that consistency, because a lot can change in 3 months. You know, just dedication and hard work can get you places where a lot of people can't get to, you know. But at the end of the day, thank you for watching this video till this far. Mr. Flair signing out.